The following is an excerpt from tonight's brand new episode of the Geekvolution Radio Hour, beginning at 7 p.m. Central Time on the Supervillain Network. Tonight, Vince and I count down the top 5 fictitious places we'd most like to visit. Join us for that and more, and thanks for listening. We've got a couple of new announced titles for movies, Vince. Yeah, this is what we do on the show. We talk about a title, and then we talk about a trailer. We hit it at every stage, and so tonight we're going to talk about 2 titles. We have now a title for, and these are not working, these are apparently the straight up titles that we're going to get. We've got the title for Star Trek 3, and we've got the title for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which with Guardians, let's start there. When we found out that, I forget who it was, somebody slipped and was like, here's the title for Guardians 2, and then I forget who it was. I think it was, was it Kevin Feige? I think it was Kevin Feige, and then James Gunn confirmed it on Twitter. So when they put out that list of all the Marvel movies that are coming out until Vince and I are dead, I thought, hooray! I'm kidding. We're pretty sure we're gonna make it through 2020. I thought
perfect vision. I see a clear future at that point.
When they wrote Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I thought it was just going to be called Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It never occurred to me that there would be an actual title. Well, apparently,
I feel like they're getting away from just calling things number blah blah.
For the most part, they are, but considering that we knew Ragnarok and we knew the names of the new Avengers movies, I figured that was just gonna be what they were gonna call it. Apparently, they're doing a riff on the tapes from those movies, and they're calling it Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which I think is fantastic.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
So it's neat that and I don't know why they held that under their hats for any reason. They should have just put that in the poster in the first place, I think. But
yeah, why not? They should have called it Guardians of the Galaxy: The Search for More Money. That's what they should have called it. Yep. And so, are they going to call Star Trek 3 Star Trek Trek into the Oldies?
No, that would require a colon. Although I think that what they're calling it is also still going to require a colon. So they did their best the first 2 movies to try not to have a colon in the middle of their title.
Oh yeah. So Star Trek into the Oldies.
That's what it would be called. What I think you could really kind of just make that the umbrella for the entire franchise, really, Vince. But what they're calling it, and this is not really news because this is just confirmed title now. We've known for a while now that this is what they were talking about. Star Trek Beyond, making a really big deal out of, we're actually going to leave our solar system this time. Which really cracks me up.
It's a novel concept.
I'm assuming that there's going to be a colon, Star Trek colon Beyond. I'm assuming. When I first heard that, everyone was being really ambiguous. Everybody that was reporting on this, where they were like, the new movie's going to be called Beyond. I'm like, what? I'm hoping it's not called Beyond Star Trek, because that would make it sound like we're too good for this Star Trek stuff. Let's move past that.
Or maybe it's like, I don't have any ideas that could possibly fit into this universe.
Yeah.
So this is beyond anything you would put into Star Trek.
Yeah, it's beyond it. Well, it at least isn't quite as silly as Star Trek Into Darkness, which Eric, who works on the channel sometimes, and I still find ourselves taking that title and putting other things in front of it. We just love it. Batman Begins, Into Darkness. We do it all that Spawn, Into Darkness. Field of Dreams, Into Darkness. We do it with everything.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Into Darkness. Yeah, Eric totally pulled that one out. That's one of his favorite movies. So anyway, we Mountain Dew, Into Darkness. So what we've got now is Star Trek Beyond. Like I said, making a really big deal out of, we're actually going to go somewhere this time, and it's going to be part of the 5-year mission. It's an okay title. What I think is hilarious about it is the first movie was just called Star Trek. All the way back in 2009, they were like, let's not worry about any kind of a subheading or anything. Let's just call it Star Trek, and then we didn't go anywhere. Yeah. And then the next movie was Star Trek Into Darkness, which honestly, a more apt title would have been Star Trek Out of Darkness, because it has a happy ending, and they sort of go into darkness, sort of, but what it really is there's a conspiracy to make the Federation more cynical and more militaristic, and we get away from it, so it's more Out of Darkness. And now it's Star Trek Beyond. You know what would have been really cool, and I'm saying this in hindsight, what would have been really cool would have been if we had called that first movie something else, and then the second movie could still be Star Trek Into Darkness, I guess. And then the third movie is just Star Trek, because we're finally going to go somewhere. It'd be really cool if this third movie could be the one that was just called Star Trek, because it's actually going to be about exploration. I think it's really sad that we've got 6 years of this franchise under our belts. It will be 7 by next year. I am glad that they are going to be able to get this thing out for the anniversary. That's good. But I just think it's hilarious that 7 years and finally we're going to go explore something, which is the premise of the thing in the first place.
Oh, now I'm just thinking of things that they could have named the first movie, like Star Trek Academy or Starfleet or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Starfleet Academy, I don't think it just as a title is real compelling and would have done real well, depending on, but maybe, I don't know.
They should call it Star Trek, The Search for More Money.
I mean, I'm with you. That's the movie that I would have liked to have seen, because, when we first heard, okay, we're going to have all the original Star Trek characters as cadets, I'm like, oh, cool. So we can do kind of a prequel thing where, and prequels aren't always great, but, okay, so we can do this kind of alternate universe where we can see where they started from. And then let's in 45 minutes get them all in exactly the post that they're going to be in the TV show. And it ends up not really being that at all. But anyway, I just think that whole thing is absolutely hysterical.
I got it. Star Trek, The Kirkening.
See, if we had actually not done the silly triple blood thing in Star Trek Into Darkness, then Star Trek 3 could have been called Star Trek 3 The Search for Kirk.
Yeah, that's true.
Which,
I was laughing at the silly triple blood thing.
Oh my, yeah, how can you not?
And I was like, I knew it was coming, but still.
Oh man, I mean, when it happened, I found myself, there was this really tiny part of me that was like, is it possible that we could actually, like, subvert expectations and do the interesting thing? Nope. That's not gonna happen. So anyway, I just wanted to mention those titles real quick. That's really the big news thing I wanted to bring up.
I've always wanted to eat a tribble like an apple.
Really?
Yeah. You know, mash it up and turn it into pie.
I want a triple corer. Did you know that there was an original series episode called The Apple?
No. Did it have anything to do with tribbles?
No.
Oh. Did it have anything to do with bass?
No. So, real quick, what do you, if I don't know that you've given this any thought at all, but what do you kind of want to see from the Guardian sequel?
The thing that makes me nervous is that when you have something that is so popular, or that gets so popular out of nowhere
that you didn't expect necessarily,
I feel like what they're going to try to do is more of the same, and they're just going to try to make more of it. And so that stuff makes me nervous. Like, I love the first one so much. They're just going to try to make Rocket more rockety, and they're going to try to make Groot more Grooty, and stuff like that. And that stuff, because at that point,
I just want to see if you can do it. Do it with Gamora.
Gamora-y.
More Gamora.
More Gamora.
More Gamora. She's going to be a smorgas Gamora.
I was going to say that.
We were both on our way to the same joke. Smorgas Gamora.
Smorgas Gamora. Say that 5 times.
Star-Lord will be more Peter Quilly.
That's true. And
no, you make a terrific point.
Yeah, so there's nothing that I want to see in particular. I'd like to get more into Yondu. I would like to get more into...
We know for certain he's in it.
Yes, indeed. And I'd love to see more about like the whole Kree world thing. That I feel like that deserves some kind of exploration.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think it's likely to be as much of an ensemble piece? Because I have a hard time imagining it not being more of a Peter Quill-centric thing, given the setup for the stuff for his father and his origins.
I kind of hope it is.
Me too.
I love a story that can be set in a team, but you follow one character.
So do I, yeah. And I mean,
you don't need an offshoot to explore others. Make a future movie. Put it on that one guy.
It very often becomes a go-to criticism of things when people just aren't looking at what it's trying to do and aren't thinking that, here's all these interesting supporting characters, but they don't get a character arc. They don't change and grow. Well, if it's not their movie, they're not going to. You know what I mean? So, like, if they're what matters with supporting characters in a single protagonist movie is that they're not two-dimensional and they feel like they're alive and they contribute to the thing somehow, but to that character's progression, but not every character to be interesting or fleshed out has to have a character arc.
Yeah, you know, to some extent, when I look at things like
you do to a degree if you're the Avengers, because it's the Avengers. It's about everybody.
Guardians of the Galaxy isn't necessarily Peter Quill the movie.
Well, I'm just saying they haven't made an Avengers movie yet that was Captain America the movie or Iron Man the movie. And you could do that, and you could do that with Guardians. Oh yeah, me too, absolutely.
And that's the thing, though, is that I would love to see that. You know, personally, I think Captain America Civil War is kind of funny, because why don't we just make it Avengers Civil War, and I will watch it and follow Cap and be happy.
I'm with you, and this is in Cap and Iron Man.
Yeah,
because I mean they're going to be the two sides of the coin. Don't you think, this is neither here nor there, but real quick before we go to commercial, don't you think that Marvel has enough clout now that they don't need the names of the big tent poles in front of the actual name of the movie? Just call it Marvel Civil War. You're done.
That makes a good sense.
Just call it, and even Infinity War. I don't know that even that needs Avengers in front of it. Now, it is going to be more of an Avengers thing, but considering that apparently nearly all the Avengers, or even all the Avengers, are going to be in Civil War, just call it Marvel Civil War.
Well, that's pretty much what they did with everything else. Marvel's the Avengers, Marvel's blah, blah. Marvel's Ant-Man's coming out.
But that's all I'm saying is that,
I'm with you.
And even if we don't say the word Marvel, we know who's making it, call it Civil War. Anyway, we're going to go commercial. We'll be right back.